Welcome back to the Jellyverse channel. My name is Santiago. I'm super happy that you're here. And today we're going to talk about Sei Network. As Jellyverse took the decision to launch on Sei, we of course have to talk about Sei. We of course have to dive into the details, have a look at the tokenomics, the technical details, answer the question whether it's worth an investment and what can we expect for Jellyverse on Sei. How can things potentially develop and what fundament did Jellyverse choose to build on? With this, we're going to have a look into a lot of interesting data and a lot of interesting facts. Let's get right into it. So we have a lot of data for you. We have the blockchain run through where we're going to have a look on some basics about Sei. We have the tech details. We are going to talk about the dApps that are available on Sei. We're going to talk about tokenomics, developer activities, partners, and of course the development status. So let's jump right into it. We have the blockchain run through. So just a quick overview. Sei is a layer 1 blockchain. It has a very short block time of only 0.42 seconds. It has its focus on scalability and speed. So it really tries to push this narrative to be the fastest blockchain out there, which Sei is very, very close to fulfill this goal. One thing that, of course, we have to look over time is whether Sei can also hold those small block times when we have more network congestion. This means when the network is more heavily used by more participants. But it looks very, very promising. And I think Sei will definitely be here among the fastest blockchains in Web3. And Sei right now has two different versions out there. There's Sei V1 and Sei V2 currently. Sei V1 has a different engine than Sei V2, and we're going to talk about the details, why this is, and what the current status so far is. If we have a look on CoinMarketCap, this screenshot is a bit older, so you might find a bit more up-to-date version if you open CoinMarketCap yourself. You have Sei trading around 80 cents right now. They had a very beautiful run-up. It's a very beautiful chart. No crazy pump and dump, but still, I mean, from the lower end here, decent growth so far. And Sei has right now 2.2 billion market cap. It has a good trading volume and overall looks pretty healthy to me. You can go to the 1-year chart or to the old chart. This doesn't really matter because the blockchain is not as old as you might think. So it's a pretty young project, and yeah, the chart will look the same. If you look to the markets, this is very, very interesting. Sei has had no problems to position themselves among the top players or on the top exchanges so far. Sei is listed on Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, KuCoin, Gate.io, Kraken. So basically everywhere you can get your hands on Sei, which is really, really cool and especially very important for Jellyverse so that you can easily get into Sei and then easily get into Jellyverse, of course. But this just as a quick overview. And if you open up, Sei, on DeFi Llama, this is also very, very interesting. Always recommended. You can check this out here and see a lot of data, what is happening on chain. You can see total value locked right now is at $50 million, and it increased a lot when we started doing our research. This was sitting around 20-30 million, and it's definitely a very, very good sign. And this is also where you could potentially start to compare the project, because if you open up DeFi Llama here, Sui is definitely one of the potential competitors here of Sei. It has right now a total value locked of roughly 700 million or 670 million. And this is something that Sei can potentially target as a upcoming growth here. And it's definitely interesting. Maybe Sei will become bigger than Sui at some point, maybe not. We will see. But I think this is definitely a potential scenario. So this was a quick overview. We know now, just to double check one more time, Sei is a layer 1 blockchain. This is a very fast chain. The narrative is focused on scalability and speed. We have different versions of Sei. It has a healthy growth until now. It has decent markets. It has good liquidity and good liquidity depth. And also the TVL is still pretty cool position right now. I have to say that I like this really a lot about Sei. Because it's not yet it doesn't yet have a fully established DeFi ecosystem. I think this is very, very interesting, especially for Jellyverse, because Jellyverse will be able to position itself as a leading DeFi ecosystem on Sei. And if Sei grows to 500 million or like a billion in TVL, then this becomes very, very interesting. So let's look into the tech details of Sei. And I think here we have some definitely interesting facts you should know if you are planning to invest in Sei or if you're planning to use Jellyverse when interacting with Sei. Sei is built with the Cosmos SDK. This means that the Cosmos SDK is basically a tool for developers. It's a software development kit that allows developers to program the blockchain a bit more easy and more secure, because those SDKs are most often already pretty well audited, secured, used, tested, tried, so on and so on. And that's very, very powerful if you can rely on a very good SDK and you don't have to maintain and update this yourself. When it comes to Cosmos, you don't only have the SDK as a tool to develop, but you also have this interchain feature, which means that you can access IBC, the inter-blockchain connection protocol. I hope I got the name right. But this is very cool. So Sei Network will be connected to all the other Cosmos chains out there. And I have here a little overview for you. Those are projects and chains building um, on Cosmos and are connected to the IBC. So this is definitely interesting, and you can see also Sei is among the biggest here. This is only page one from CoinMarketCap. You can check this out yourself. To understand the benefits a bit better, what you actually get if you build on Cosmos, of course, you have access to bridges fairly quickly. You have access to the IBC, which is the interblockchain protocol. You have USDC natively available on Noble. Noble is just an application available on Cosmos where USDC basically gives access to natively to all the Cosmos chains, and you have a secure SDK to use, and you have faster development time. So that's pretty cool. I think when it comes to Sei, one of the things that are, whoops, sorry, did I move this? No. Yeah. When it comes to Sei, one of the things that are very interesting is that Sei has parallelized XVMs. What the fuck do I mean by this? So XVM I just wrote here because Sei has multiple virtual machines. Virtual machines are basically the engines inside of the blockchains that execute code and that allow the user to actually run programs. And the user, what I mean with this is builders who build stuff. And on Sei you have a parallelized approach to those virtual machines. And this actually was introduced, I think, the first time by Solana. So Solana came up with this parallelized EVM model, and with this, they were able to increase the block time significantly. And there's a lot of other things that allow consensus to be reached quicker, which is like the state storage and the consensus. And there's different parts out of this. We don't want to dive too deep into everything, but what is definitely interesting is that Sei V1 will come with a so-called WASM layer. A WASM layer is a web assembly layer where users or builders can use any programming language and just adapt it to the WASM logic of this engine and then use it to program the applications. This is pretty cool, and it's definitely an interesting engine to have because you're not only restricted to Solidity on the EVM side, but you can use any programming language you want. But when it comes to developers, it's not so easy actually to find developers who want to build on WASM layer. I mean, predominant is definitely the EVM layer because most developers already build in Solidity, already have their applications written in Solidity, and also can use the applications written in Solidity to port them to multiple blockchains. So for them, it definitely makes sense to continue building on EVM. And I think this is where Sei V2 now kicks in. And a very interesting part of this is, again, let's say with V2 will attract a lot of applications that has been built on EVM, but now introduce it to the first time to the parallelized EVM. And that's really great. There's some other neat features. We have the parallelization state storage. Now it's optimized, and there's still the twin turbo consensus. I think we will not dive into this. If you want to learn more about it, check it out yourself. Here's just a quick overview. What does it mean to actually have sequential computing or parallel computing? Very simple. Sequential means you just do your problem after each other, and you have to process one after each other. And then basically, you can pretty fairly quickly imagine that this is a slower approach rather compared to parallel computing, where you can try to, or where you can tackle different problems, executions at the same time. If you want to learn more about this, here is a very interesting article about Sei's underlying order book that is embedded in the blockchain, and also about the scalability and the consensus mechanism. I could definitely recommend this article if you are more in the tech side and you want to learn more about, say, here. So one of the things that definitely I want to emphasize is that Sei didn't solve the trilemma, right? We have the blockchain trilemma as always. We cannot have security, decentralization, and scalability all at the same time. So I'm going to have to make this very, very clear here. The reason that Sei is also so incredibly fast is because they only allow a maximum of 50 validators. As far as I could read out of the documentation, I think right now it's 37 or something like this. Please don't quote me on the specific number. So the amount of nodes is heavily reduced, and therefore the amount of time needed to create consensus between all of those nodes is reduced as well. So that's definitely a trade-off, but for this we get scalability, and we can be here in the scalability and secure side by reducing decentralization. I think this is pretty fair. I mean, a lot of blockchains are going into this direction and they have less nodes and then they have a lot of delegation to those nodes. So that's an interesting approach if you are more looking to have a cheap and fast chain to use and you don't care so much about full on security and decentralization. So probably Sei is for you if you want to interact with applications, if you want to use something fast and cheap, and if you want to store your value over the next 10, 20, 30 years, then probably you should look more into Bitcoin. When it comes to Sei, there's one very interesting thing, and there's this CLOP and DLOP, which is basically a central limit order book that allows for central matchmaking. So basically, it's a way of trading that is implemented already into Sei natively that you can use, and it's an order book based trading. And Sei was initially developed to allow users to use this order book with the incredible scalability of Sei to trade very powerful in with this order book style trading. It's still the predominant way of trading. I mean, centralized exchanges are all based on order books. This is actually something that has been that has been neglected. So I think there's no one really using this right now, this feature on Sei, but this is maybe something that will come over time, or users might be willing to spend more time trying out and playing around and building with those features, but definitely worth mentioning. First things first, we don't have too many dApps. We have some cool dApps. We have Astroport, which is a DEX. We have Pallet Exchange. We have CELO. So we have stake liquid tokens available. We have NFTs available. That's all pretty cool. And we have a lot of other projects. And especially we have a very nice NFT community, a very active community that likes to interact with each other, be active, share NFTs, share memes, jokes, and all of this. It's super important for crypto, and it keeps the blockchain active and bonded together, right? This community spirit. And yes, but right now, if you look also on DeFi Llama and you just check the projects here, there are not so many projects available on Sei. And this will all come now with the Sei V2 EVM layer. So we can expect that there will be a lot of projects building on Sei that want to go the same route as Jellyverse. They want to position themselves as the biggest DeFi protocols. And this will drive a lot of growth into the whole ecosystem. And that's also for Jellyverse very important, that it's obviously something where where Jellyverse can still find a lot of room to grow and to develop and to be dominant on the chain, but of course also to work together with the people and collaborate, find cool projects to build partnerships, relationships with, and push together on the vision to push Sei forward. As to any investment in crypto, you always have to look at the tokenomics. And when you look here, you have a fairly standard distribution of funds when it comes to this pie chart. So you have most of the funds go to the ecosystem reserve, which is, as far as I'm aware, the community side of things. That's incentives for community members, so on and so on, that will be distributed over time. And then there's some parts for the team, the launch pool, private sale investors who funded this whole project, and of course the foundation. If you want to have a deeper look, I can definitely recommend you Token Unlocks app here. You can open this one up here and you can see a lot of data regarding the token unlocks, when this is going to happen. You have to log in here and then you see all of this very detailed. That helps a lot to make a decision and look at the current status. I have one screenshot here. So right now we are still in the early phase of things. Unlocks will begin in August this year, and then they will gradually start. So just keep this in mind, that the unlocks are going to come and yeah, this might have influence on the price. But definitely, so far, very interesting and healthy development, I would say. If you look at the price chart, that looks pretty good to me. And if you want to dive deeper into tokenomics, then check this one out, and you can see all the vestings, unlocks, so on and so on, and take your decisions. When it comes to developer activity, that's also interesting to know. So we have basically here activity of different developers committing specific changes on GitHub. It's not like just random changes, but real commits and yeah, valuable contributions. And I think we have here right now around 10, 11 people who are active. Of course, this deviates. I think also this chart is not really representing the reality, because there will be probably way more developers active, but just not pushing things on GitHub. As far as I'm aware, there's more than 30, 40 developers working on Sei, but here you can see the chart of the different developers participating in on GitHub. If you want to check this out yourself, here the website is called Sentiment, really cool. I can also recommend this. Pretty cool. So let's have a look at the partners. When it comes to Sei oracles, we have PIF, which is really great for Jellyverse. So with the PIF oracles, we can integrate everything and have the J assets running. That's perfectly. Then we have liquidity, we have big bridges and partnerships incoming. I cannot reveal any details as of today, but there will be definitely good bridges to use. We have USDC and USDT native, which is kind of done. We will have Noble, which is a native integration, but it's through Cosmos, right? It's not directly on Sei. And there will be a bridge where you can enrich USDC and USDT. Let's see if in future maybe Sei will natively also have a USDC deployment. I mean, this will be really great, but yeah, I guess a lot of blockchains are looking forward to achieve this milestone. When it comes to exchanges, yeah, Sei is on all major exchanges. It has interchain connection through Cosmos and influence on ranking. This is just a fully made up number by myself. I think it's very good. If you search for Sei on YouTube, you find cool influencers who do great videos about Sei, who explain things fairly well and with good amount of information. And yeah, there's not so many shady ones. When it comes to development status, we have the mainnet WASM live and also the devnet, which is the testnet. So we can make testnet/devnet here. For the EVM is also live and looks pretty stable. So we can look forward into a mainnet release soon. I think there will be not much time to wait for this, but mainnet, of course, EVM side is not live yet. So right now it's the perfect time for Jellyverse to prepare and to get ready for the EVM release and then be there from day one. So with all of this, a lot of information to digest. I think we found the perfect chain for Jellyverse. We have fast block times, so it's going to be very nice to trade J assets on this. It's going to feel like instant. I mean, you're going to click long and you're long. It's just like you would be on a centralized exchange with normal order books. It's really great. But also for the overall experience on Jellyverse, I think it's gonna feel just like the next generation of DeFi, the way it should feel in combination with the whole UI of Jellyverse. I mean, this will work out pretty well. And I think that we have to now look to grow Sei to push this vision forward. I think there's a lot of growth in front of us. I think Jellyverse can position itself very beautiful here on Sei and provide a lot of value. And yeah, guys, with this, let me know what you think about Sei. Let me know what topics you want us to cover about Sei. Whether you like this video, whether I missed something to explain. I'm also still fairly new to the whole Sei community. So if you are from the Sei community and I missed something, post it down below. And yeah, we'll definitely check it out. With this, thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.